Hello everybody. I'm so glad you're joining us for our second video on butterflies. I hope you've been enjoying watching your caterpillars grow and being lepidopterist as we all study butterflies together. Thank you to those who have sent me some questions. I've tried to answer some of them through email, and hopefully we'll answer some in our video today as well. And thank you to Lucy, who sent us a very pretty picture of one of our butterfly coloring pages. So we all got our larvae cups on about the same day. So you probably saw them in your classrooms on Friday the 9th. And so they have had a few days to grow since then. Let's take a look at what our caterpillars look like now. If you can see, yours probably look pretty much like ours. And they have grown quite a bit. They were a lot tinier when we first got them. Let's talk about what I call all the ick and the yuck in this cup. So if you've noticed the stuff that looks like spider webs, kind of, that webbing, if the caterpillar were outside, they would be using that to help attach themselves to the leaves of the plant that they are eating and growing on, and also to help hide themselves a little bit from predators. You may have also noticed, and I know some of you have because you asked me questions about this, these little black balls. What that is the shed exoskeleton of the caterpillar. And I'll talk more about that exoskeleton a little bit later in our video. You may have also noticed some little brown balls maybe hanging in the webbing, or maybe brown specks on the side of the cup. That is called frass, and that's just the scientific name for caterpillar poo. So in our last video, I told you about the first stage of the butterfly life cycle, which was the egg. The stage that you have been observing here for the past few days is the larvae or caterpillar stage, which is the second stage of the butterfly life cycle. So the caterpillars of the butterfly, the painted lady butterfly, are kind of black to purple color with green, yellowish green stripes and long spines. As you can see from the picture, you can see the hairy spines on the caterpillar and a few of its 16 legs. And those hairy looking spines that you see on the caterpillar are one of the ways that the caterpillar gets its sense of touch. All a caterpillar really wants to do during its life stage is to eat leaves and grow. That's pretty much all it is interested in doing. And as I said before, they have something called an exoskeleton. So they don't have a skeleton or bones inside their body like we humans do. Theirs is on the outside of their body, and it protects them and keeps the water inside their body. But as they grow, their exoskeleton doesn't grow with them. So when they get bigger, they have to shed that skin, and underneath it is a new exoskeleton. So when they shed that skin, it's called, they molt. That's the word for that shedding of that skin. Sort of like if you were wearing a tight pair of jeans every day for the past year, and you grew and got bigger, and you would have to wiggle out of those jeans and shed it to be able to put on a new pair of jeans. So that's a little bit what it's like. They will be in this caterpillar stage for 7 to 11 days. After that, when it's finished growing, it's going to find a safe place. If they were outdoors, they would like crawl to the underside of a leaf or a branch, and it will spin a little soft pad to attach itself to. It spins that silk, like that webbing that you saw in the cup. It spins that out of a little hole underneath its mouth called a spinneret. In your cups, it's just going to crawl to the top of your cup, and it's going to spin that little soft pad, and then it's going to hang from its backside. Little things called, its legs that are called prolegs on that part of its body. And it has little hooks that help attach it to the pad. So after it hangs there, then it's going to shed its very last exoskeleton. And underneath will then be what we'll see as the third stage of the life cycle, and that is the pupa stage, also called the chrysalis. The chrysalis is not a cocoon, because some of you have asked me about a cocoon. It's not a cocoon. Moths spin a cocoon around their body for protection. But with a butterfly, it just transforms into the chrysalis. So now it's hanging as the chrysalis, and it's going to hang as the chrysalis for another 7 to 11 days. You can see on that picture, the little, and maybe on this poster, these little spots here. Those are called spiracles, and that's where the chrysalis gets their oxygen. So it's going to hang there for 7 to 11 days. And during that time, all of the cells of that caterpillar are now changing and becoming all of the body parts of a butterfly. And this process of the butterfly changing from an egg to a caterpillar to the chrysalis and then to the adult butterfly is called metamorphosis, the process of changing from one thing to another. And it's very different from how we humans grow. When we humans grow, we're born as a baby. We have arms, we have legs, we have our 10 toes, our fingers, our head, our eyes, our nose, our mouth. And as we grow, we still have all of those same parts. They just grow bigger. But with the butterfly, it changes completely. The caterpillar does not have the same body parts that a butterfly does. So in this process, and inside this chrysalis, that amazing change called metamorphosis is happening. All of the cells of the caterpillar are changing into the body parts of a butterfly. As it gets closer to the end of the chrysalis stage, as you're observing it, you might notice that the chrysalis might start to become a little bit more clear, and you'll begin to get a faint hint of the color of the wings coming through the chrysalis. Eventually, after the end of that 7 to 11 days, it will push its way out of that last bit of skin of the chrysalis, and then you will have the butterfly. When the butterfly first emerges, its wings are a little wet and a little wrinkled, and it needs some time to dry out and for its wings to get a little bit stronger. But then when it emerges and its wings are strong enough, it will begin to be able to fly. And pretty much what a butterfly wants to do for the rest of its life is to fly around looking for other butterfly friends and looking for flowers to suck the nectar from. And one of the things that butterflies do that is really beneficial to us humans is that as they go from flower to flower, the pollen from the plant gets on their bodies. And then they take that pollen to the next plant that they go to, and that helps to fertilize those plants so that they can grow new flowers. And that's very helpful to us humans. We would not have all of our pretty flowers and some of our plant foods if it wasn't for insects like butterflies and bees carrying the pollen from one plant to the other. So we want to be very kind to butterflies because they are our friends. So thank you for joining me today. I hope you've enjoyed our video, and I hope you'll enjoy watching the caterpillar change into the chrysalis. So some things I want to mention for you to look for is that as you're watching your caterpillars, if you notice that they're all starting to kind of climb to the top, and they begin to attach themselves there, and they'll hang in like the little shape of a J. Once they've done that, you know it's very close to shedding its last skin and becoming that chrysalis. So keep those questions coming, and we will see you next week. Thank you.